Good morning, one and all. So in today's video, we'll be checking regarding one of the important labs for the semester, that is Analog and Digital Electronics Laboratory with the subject code of 18 CSL 37. As the name says, this laboratory is a combination of analog experiments as well as digital electronics experiment. Or in simple terms, I can say this lab is a combination of analog experiments and logic design experiments. The logic design experiments, what we are going to look in this particular lab are the familiar experiments what a student would have gone through in the first year classes, maybe in the first semester or in the second semester. Maybe when I come to analog electronics laboratory, we might find some new components or some new experiments corresponding in this particular laboratory. So looking into the brief syllabus of this particular laboratory, we can see this particular lab has been split up into two parts, part A and part B. So my part A has got analog electronic circuit experiments and part B has got digital electronic circuit experiments. Part A has got three experiments and these three experiments are further divided into hardware experiments and software experiments. Hardware experiments are the ones in which the physical components will be given to you people and you people will be asked to rig up the circuit as per the circuit diagram and get the output. Whereas software experiments are the one in which the hardware experiments, whatever you are rigged up, need to be simulated using a software package. The software package what we are going to use for part A experiment is ORCAD. So this ORCAD supports almost all the analog components what we are using in the hardware experiments and it lets them to be connected and simulate them for the same inputs what you would have done for the previous hardware or hardwired experiments. So there are three experiments in part A. The first one is astable multivibrator experiment with various duty cycles. The second one is a relaxation oscillator experiment with a 50% duty cycle. In fact, you can change the duty cycle here. And the third one is a window comparator experiments for the given UTP and LTP values. Similarly, coming to the part B experiment, in part B we have 6 experiments. So out of the 6 experiments, almost all the experiments need to be simulated. So here, the first experiment is all about adder and subtractor. You need to rig up a circuit for the half adder, full adder, half subtractor, full subtractor, verify the truth table. And the same thing has to be implemented using HDL. We have to write the code corresponding to the circuits what we have rigged up and we need to execute them and we need to get the output using a software package. The software package what we are using here is Xilinx. A detailed explanation regarding ORCAD and Xilinx will be given to you in the upcoming videos. The second experiment in my digital electronics is all about a multiplexer experiment in which you need to rig up a multiplexer and you need to check the truth table for a given expression and the same has to be implemented using an HDL using a software package. The third one is JK master slave flip-flop which will be using NAND gates. The same thing, a truth table will be given to you. You need to rig up the circuit and you need to verify whether the truth table whatever has been given is matching with the circuit what you have rigged up. Again here I need to go with the implementation. Coming to the fourth experiment, it is all about code converters. You need to convert a code into other. Binary code has to be converted to gray code and gray code has to be converted to binary. Luckily, we don't have any simulations to be done here. The fifth experiment here is all about asynchronous up counter. So here we need to rig up a counter which will be counting from 0 to 7, that is mod 8, and you need to demonstrate its working. The sixth experiment is about asynchronous counter which is called as decade counter. Decade counter is all about a counter which will be counting from 0 to 9. You need to rig up circuits individually and whatever counts are being displayed by the counter has to be displayed on the 7-segment display provided to you. So here the last 3 experiments do not have any software implementations to be done, and if they ask you how to do this, or if they ask you to do the software implementation, it is possible. You can show the software implementations also for this as per the question. So this is regarding the brief introduction regarding the experiments what we are carrying out for the upcoming semester. Before getting into the lab or before getting into the laboratory accurately, we need to know some of the components what we are using in the lab. So what I'll be doing is I'll be giving you a general idea regarding the components what we are using in the digital electronics circuit experiments. Analog electronic circuit experiment we will look up later. We'll check up what are the components, how do they look, how do I connect them, how actually I will be using them, how do I look into the input, how do I look into the output. All those details we'll be checking up in the upcoming videos. Whereas in case of my part B, that is digital electronic circuit experiment, we will be having a brief insight into the various components what I'll be using here. The very first component what I'll be using here is called as digital trainer kit, or you can call it as digital IC trainer kit, or whatsoever it is. The digital IC trainer kit has been shown here. The practical ones will be shown to you in the upcoming videos. This is how my digital IC trainer kit looks like. So when I say that digital IC trainer kit, the various components what I have here are, this is an IC bed in which you can be placing the IC for your experiment. So I'll be having 4 IC beds here. In fact, the various IC trainer kits will be having different number of IC beds. So it has got 4 IC beds. So these are the IC beds what I have here. So this is where I'll be placing the IC. So I have 1, 2, 3 and 4. How to place an IC? How does it look like in reality? We'll check them in the upcoming videos. So these are all the terminals corresponding to the IC. For example, if I place my IC inside this, the pin number 1 of the IC will be internally connected to pin number 1 here. The pin number 2 or terminal number 2 of my IC will be internally connected here. So at the maximum, I can be connecting an IC which is having 16 pins. So 8 pins on the right hand side and 8 pins on the left hand side, with the corresponding power supply and the ground connections. For the IC to work efficiently, power supply and ground connections are must and should. So I can be placing 4 ICs in this particular IC beds based on the requirement of the experiment. The inputs to this ICs can be given via this particular pins. The pins what I can see here, these are called as input pins. So the input to this particular ICs will be given via this input pins, and the input can be made high or low using this particular SPST switches or normal switches what is called as on and off. Whenever the switch is in the position high, your input will be 0. When the input is high, it will be 1. When the input is low, your input will be 0. And the output of this particular circuit or the output of this particular IC can be observed in this particular output pins. So these pins are all the input pins, and the red pins what you can see here are the output pins. The color of the pins whatever I have here might change. In some of the trainer kits it might be red or yellow in color. This red might be green in color. That depends upon the manufacturer. This particular board what I can see here is called as breadboard. In case if there are any analog components to be connected in the digital experiments. For example, I need to connect a capacitor, or I need to connect a resistor, or in case I need to connect an inductor. All those particular analog components can be connected to the digital circuits via this particular breadboard. I call it as a breadboard just because it resembles a bread. That is why I'll be calling this by the name breadboard. Along with this, I have a 7-segment display here. I have a 7-segment display. In case if you don't want to see the output here, I don't want to see the output here, sir. I want to see the output in the 7-segment display. In that case, you can see the output in the 7-segment display. The output from this particular pins has to be connected to the 7-segment display, and the 7-segment display will be displaying the output as such. In addition to that, I'll be having some pulse inputs to be given to the circuit. In case if you need to give any pulse inputs, the pulse inputs can be given to the circuits with the various frequencies or with the various frequencies as it is given here, or in case if you need to give some extra power supply to the ICs or to the circuits, those particular power supplies are also available. All the things, all the extra things, whatever has to be supplied to the circuit are all available here. In addition, you can see the power supply pin. So as soon as this particular kit has been plugged into the main power supply, you'll be turning on the power supply from the main supply board, and once it has been turned on, your power will be made to flow into the kit via this particular power input pin. So this is an additional power supply pin in your kit. Moving on to the next very important component of the digital electronic circuit, these are called as ICs. Most of you would be familiar with this particular component, what it can be seen here. This is what an IC looks like. As I said you, these are all the terminals of the IC. For example, if I check into this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is a 40 pin IC with 20 pins on the right hand side and 20 pins on the left hand side. Similarly, if you check out here, this is one more IC which has got 7 pins on the left hand side and 7 pins on the right hand side. This is one more IC. The number of the IC will always be written on the top of that. It will always be etched on the top of the IC. Every particular IC will be having its own IC number. For example, if you say, sir, I want an AND gate IC, your AND gate IC has a number of 7408. If I say it's an OR gate IC, the number is 7432. If I say it's a NOT gate IC, the number is 7404. So every particular IC will be having its own number written on the top surface of that, and you need to be carefully observing what is that particular number. Or before picking up the IC, you need to check the number of the IC so that you can place the right ICs in the circuit. And one more thing what you need to note down in this particular IC is, for example, let me say this is a 14 pin IC. You might be asking, sir, how to know the pin numbers of this IC? How to know which is pin number 1 and which is pin number 2 and which is pin number 14? So on the top of the IC, if you can observe very neatly, there is a notch. There is a notch on the top of the IC, or there is a part of the IC which is slightly etched away. So this particular IC, this particular part has been etched off. So this is your top of the IC, and the pin corresponding to the left hand side of that particular notch is the pin number 1. So pin number 2, pin number 3, pin number 4, pin number 5, pin number 6, pin number 7, pin number 8, pin number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is how you count the pin numbers of your IC. So this is what your IC is all about. So you need to know regarding this component very importantly, because almost all the digital circuit experiments will be having one or the other IC to be connected to the circuit. The next component of the digital electronics lab is patch cords. So as I said you, if I move to the very first component, that is your digital trainer kit. Let me say I will be keeping an IC here, and after I keep the IC here, I need to connect the input to the IC. Input has to be given to the IC, power supply has to be given to the IC, or ground has to be connected to the IC. All the connections to the ICs will be done using this particular patch cords. All the connections to the ICs, it may be input, it may be power supply, it may be ground connection, it may be a pulse input, or it may be an additional power supply, or it may be an output, or it may be connection to the 7-segment display. All the connections will be done using this particular patch cords. So this patch cords will be provided to you people so that you can make the efficient connections. But you need to be very careful when you are handling this particular patch cords, because these wires are very gently soldered inside to this particular metallic terminal. So when you're handling this particular patch cords, make sure that you will be handling this using this handles only. Do not handle this patch cords using the wires. Wires that run between the terminals. Please use the handles that are provided to you people. Coming to the next component. This component might be given to you or may not be given to you, but this is a very important component to me in the laboratory in order to check the functionality of an IC. Let me say that I'll be giving you some 3 to 4 ICs, and out of 4 ICs, one of the IC is not functional. One of the IC is damaged. So how do you know that whether the IC is damaged or not? So in order to check that, we have something called as IC trainer kit. or you can call it as IC tester kit. So you can place your IC in this particular IC bed that is provided here. You can enter the number of the IC here and you can go with the test. So once you test, press the test button here, it will be displaying the whether the IC is good or whether it is bad. If the IC displays it is good, then you can say that your IC is proper. If the IC display says that it is bad, then it is time for you to replace the IC with the new IC. If you are using a non-functional IC in the circuit, you will not be landing up with the proper output. So always before rigging up the circuit with the ICs that are given to you, please do check them using the IC testers. Most of the times in the laboratories, they will check the ICs and given to you. And in case if you have got any doubts, please make sure that you will be checking the ICs using the IC tester kit. This IC tester kit will be provided to one lab which can be shared by all the students. Okay. These things are very familiar to you people. When I speak about an AND gate, my AND gate symbol looks like this, which is having two inputs A and B with an output Y. When I speak about the pin diagram, so this is my IC. The diagram what I can see here is an IC corresponding to the AND gate, and this IC number is 7408. So what I can see here, this is a pin diagram of your IC 7408. So 7408 is a 14 pin IC, pin number 1, pin number 2, pin number 3, pin number 4, pin number 5, pin number 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Remember, in case of my 14 pin ICs, very commonly my 14 pin will be the power supply pin which is to be connected to the power supply, and pin number 7 will be the ground pin. And this pin diagrams will normally be provided to each and every IC that you are using in the laboratories. So whatever IC you are going to take, the pin diagram of that particular IC will be given to you. So you need not worry about this particular pin diagram. And this one is a very common thing for you. So this is your AND gate. This is the truth table of the AND gate. So the truth table, probably here there is a mistake in the truth table. So when I speak about the truth table, it should be 0, 0 should be, I guess it should be a 0 here. The truth table should be 0 here. And 0, 1 is 1, 1, 0 is 1, 1, 1 should be, or you have any changes? Yes, there should be some changes, I guess. When I speak about the AND gate, 0, 0 is 0, 0, 1 is 0, 1, 0 is 0, 1, 1 should be 1. So that should be the truth table. So there is a mistake in this particular truth table. We'll replace them when we go with the actual circuit rigging up of the AND gate. Coming to the OR gate. My OR gate IC is also 14 pin IC. The IC number is 7432. You can check up the IC number. I had shown you an IC which is 7432. So this is your 7432 IC with the corresponding pin diagram and the circuit diagram, and the truth table has been given to you people. I need not repeat this again because you people are very familiar about this particular circuit diagrams and the truth tables from your first year basic electronics classes. The last component what we have here is the NOT gate IC. So NOT gate IC is this one. The pin diagram of a NOT gate IC is 7404, and you can check up. This is once again your 14 pin IC with pin number 7 to be connected to ground and with pin number 14 to be connected to power supply. And this is the truth table of your NOT gate IC. So remembering the pin numbers has to be done by you people, but remembering the pin diagram is not needed. IC numbers has to be remembered by you people. You need to be very familiar saying that when I ask you, can you tell me the IC number of an OR gate, you should be able to say it is 7432. In fact, there are variations here. When I say it is a three input AND gate, the pin number is different. When I say it's a three input OR gate, the pin number is different. So you need to remember the IC numbers. Pin diagrams will be given to you people, or it will be supplied to you people, or the chart of the pin diagrams will be provided to you people. So this is regarding the basics, or this is all about the theory part what you need to know before getting into the circuit diagram or before getting into the digital circuits laboratories. Very importantly, I need to know regarding these three people. I need to know regarding a digital trainer kit, I need to know regarding an IC, and I need to know regarding the patch cords. IC tester kit is not that important to you people because it will be tested by the lab personnel who are present in the laboratories before supplying the things.
So as explained in the previous video, we have checked regarding how an IC trainer kit looks like, what are the different terminals of an IC trainer kit, what do you mean by an IC bed, what is the breadboard. I have told you something regarding the monopulse inputs that is available in the IC trainer kit. I also told you regarding the 7-segment display. I told you regarding the SPST switches. I also told you regarding power supplies and various inputs with variable frequencies. So the IC trainer kit, what you are using in the laboratory for the semester, looks like this. It has got 5 IC beds in which you can place 5 ICs, and the ICs that can be placed in the IC beds can be having a maximum number of 40 pins. In the previous video, we checked out something regarding 20 pin IC bed, but right now what we are having in the lab is an improved version of that, which has got around 40 pin ICs which can be placed in the IC beds. We'll have a very closer look into the IC beds. So the IC bed, what we are having right now is looking something like this. So you can check out, I can place an IC in this particular IC bed with 20 pins on the right hand side, 10 pins on the right hand side and 10 pins on the left hand side. Along with that, we have a power supply pin and we have a ground connection. So this is your IC bed. Moving to the top, I told you I will be having a 7-segment display also. So in this trainer kit, we have 3 7-segment displays in which you can see the output as a 7-segment. For example, I can see the output as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So that is possible. After that, I told you it is possible to provide a monopulse input. So the monopulse input, what is needed to the circuit, will be provided by this terminal, and by pressing the red button or push button once, a monopulse input will be supplied to the circuit. And the thing what you can see here, this is called as breadboard, on which you are placing the analog components in case if it is needed for the circuit. So here you can place analog components such as resistors, capacitors and inductors if it is needed for the circuit. In addition to that, if your circuit needs an additional power supply, those additional power supplies can be supplied by this particular power supply pins, which has got a variable power supply from 0 to plus 15 volt and minus 15 volt. And in case if your circuit needs frequency or variable frequency input, those variable frequency inputs can also be provided by this particular input pins, which has got a frequency varying from 0 Hz to 1 megahertz. Moving to the top of the IC trainer kit, we have the inputs and outputs. I told you, based on the IC trainer kits, the color codes of the inputs and output might vary. So these are all the input pins. The things what you can see here are all the input pins which are yellow in color, and the output of the circuit what you have rigged up in the IC bed can be obtained in this particular green color pins which are available on the top of that. And the switches what I can see here, these are all SPST switches which has got 2 positions. One is low position and high position. So when the switch is in the lower position, the input that is supplied to the circuit will be 0, and when the switch is in the high position or when it is in the on position, the input that is supplied to the circuit will be 1. So we'll check out how basically this works when we rig up the circuit. Moving on to the very next component what I had explained to you, that is ICs. The thing what you can see here, these are all the ICs about. Now let's check out how actually an IC looks like. So this is what your IC is going to look like. So here, this is all it is about. So you can see there are 7 pins on one side and 7 pins on the other side. I already told you that how to note down the pin numbers or from where to start and from where to end. On the top of this, if you carefully observe, on the top of this you can see a notch or you can see a button or dot on the top. So my pin numbers will be starting from the left hand side of that. So my pin numbers are pin number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is 7. This one is 7. And moving this 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. So that is how you identify an IC. In fact, the IC numbers will be noted down on the top of that. It is not that clearly visible, but on the top of the IC numbers will be written, which you need to observe very carefully. Along with the company number, there will be other codes which will be written, but you can identify the IC numbers provided you observe it very carefully. Moving on further, you can check there are various ICs. In fact, these are the different ICs what we have here. The thing what I'm holding right now in my hand are the IC numbers 7432, 7408 and 7404. So one is an AND gate IC, one is an OR gate IC, and other one is a NOT gate IC. Moving on further, the thing or the wires what you can see here are the ones what are called as patch cords. These are the ones what are used to connect the input to the circuit, or maybe in order to connect the power supply to the IC, or in order to connect the output from the circuit to the terminals of the strainer kit, or maybe in order to check the output in the 7-segment display. You will be using these wires, and these are called as patch cords. Both the terminals of the patch cords will be looking alike, so it is not, you don't have any difference between the terminals what you are using here. But you need to be very careful when you are handling this patch cords, because normally this wires, the wires what I can see here are very delicately soldered to this particular metallic terminals. So when you're handling or when you're attaching this particular patch cords, or when you're removing this particular patch cords, try removing the patch cords by holding the holder, which I'll be illustrating to you when I'm actually plugging this particular components to the IC trainer kit. Moving on further, the next component what I explained to you is your IC trainer kit. The thing what I have here is basically used to check whether my IC is working properly or whether it is not working properly. So when an IC is given to you, and if you have got any doubts regarding whether it is properly working or whether it is not working, what you need to do is you just need to plug it. You just need to plug this, and after it has been plugged on, you turn it on. Once it is turned on, there will be numbers, or there will be some displays which will be, or random display which will be displayed on the display of this particular IC tester kit. So let me check with my IC 7408. Let me check whether this 7408 IC is working properly. So what I need to do is I need to unlock this. This is a lock which is used to lock and unlock. So you need to unlock this IC bed here. You need to place your IC. You need to place your IC here. You need to place it in this fashion so that your notch will be on the top, and you'll be starting from the very top terminal, and you lock it. Once you lock it, your ICs will be very firmly held by the IC bed. After that, as I am testing the 7408, you just enter the number here. You just enter it as 7408. So you can see I have entered the number 7408. After you enter the number 7408, you can see the button test. So go with the test button. So if it is bad, your IC will be giving you a display of bad. So in case if you want to check out which gate of the IC is bad, for example, if I speak about the pin diagram, I can see my 7408 has got 4 AND gates. So I can test gate wise. So you have a one more button which is called as step. So if you press step input, it will say yes, 0, 1 good, which says that gate 1 is good. Second gate is also good. Third gate is bad. That is, third gate is bad. And fourth is also good. After that, it is done. So out of 4 gates, my one of the gate is not functioning properly, because of which it is saying that the IC has gone. Let's check with one more IC. Let's check with one more IC. I'm just going to replace this 7408 IC with I'll be trying with the 7404, which is a NOT gate IC. So I will place my IC here. I'll place my IC very carefully here. Once it has been placed, I will abort the previous process. I'll abort the previous process, and I'll enter the number 7404. After that, I'll go with the test. If you go with the testing process, it says it is bad. Now if I want to go with step, I can go with the step. It says almost entire, some gates are good and some gates are bad. In fact, you can check with the 7432 also. You can check with 7432 IC. So this is your 7432 IC. So let's place the IC here. Before that, I'll abort the process. I'll abort the entire process here. I'll clear the things. It's cleared now. I'll place 7432 and I'll check 7432. Now I'll go with the testing. It says first gate is good, second one is bad, third one is good, fourth one is bad. Or you can go with the single step testing process. So this is how you are going to test your ICs. So normally this process of testing the ICs need not be done by you people. It will be already be tested by the lab personnel and they will hand you over the good ICs or functional ICs. So you need not worry about that. But if you are not getting if you feel that the circuit whatever you rigged up is proper and if you are still not getting the output, in that case you need to remove the ICs and you need to get back to the table and you need to go with the IC tester and you need to check whether the given IC is proper or not using the procedure as I explained to you. So right now what we'll be doing is we'll be checking or we'll be rigging up a circuit with respect to the AND gate. So I need to remember the truth table of the AND gate. So this is your truth table and this is my circuit diagram of the AND gate, and the IC corresponding to the AND gate is 7408. So I will take my IC, I'll take my IC. So IC is taken. I'll note down the notch of the IC. The top of the notch will be starting with the pin numbers 1. So pin number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I'll take the IC and I will unlock the IC IC bed and I will place the IC from the top. I'll place the IC from the top and I will lock it. I'll lock this particular IC. Once it is properly locked, I'll take some patch cords. And I'll go with the connections. So the patch cords are provided. So the patch cords will be provided to you in sufficient numbers. So I will take the patch cords and I will go with the connections. So the initial connection what I'll do is I'll go with the power supply connection. As per the pin diagram of 7408, my pin number 14, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is your 7th pin which is internally connected. My 8th pin is this one. So don't get confused. This is not the 8th pin of the IC. This is the 8th pin of your IC. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14th pin is power supply. So this is your patch cord as I explained to you. So plug into pin number 14 and to the power supply. So your power supply connection is done. Next, pin number 7 is your ground. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7th pin will be connected to ground. So ground is your 0 volt. So this is your ground connection is done. Next, as per the thing here, I need to give two inputs. A and B are the two inputs and Y is the output. As I explained to you, I'll be taking my inputs from the yellow pins and my outputs will be given to the green pins. So I'll take the inputs. So pin number 1 should be connected to input. So I will take first input A, which will be connected to pin number 1, and I'll take second input from pin number, that is second input B will be taken and it will be connected to pin number 2. So my input connections are done. In this IC I'll be having 4 AND gates, out of which I have taken only one AND gate. First AND gate is taken and the inputs are connected. And now right now you need to go with the output connection. So I will take output as pin number 3 as per the pin diagram. I'll take the output and my output will be connected to the output pin. This is your output pin. So input will be flowing from here to the circuit or to the IC, which will be processed and it will give the output via the pin number 3. So connections are done. For the first AND gate, my connections are done. Now I'll turn on the power supply. I'll turn on the power supply here. Once it has been turned on here, you have a power supply pin here also, or you have a power supply button here. So you turn on this power supply pin. So you can see that power supply has been turned on. After it has been turned on, let me go as per the truth table. My first combination says that 0, 0. So these are the two inputs. So these are my two inputs. Which says that 0, 0. If it is in lower position, it is 0, 0. For 0, 0, your output should be 0. As the light is not glowing here, my output is 0. Next combination is 0, 1. So I'll go with 0, 1. So 0, 1. 0, 1, my output should still remain 0 itself. It is 0 itself. Next combination is 1, 0. I'll make this 0. I'll make this 1. So 1, 0. My output is still 0 itself. Next combination is 1, 1. I'll make both the inputs 1. When I make both the inputs 1, you can see your output is 1 here. So your truth table what is given here has been verified as the things. This is for the first gate that is present in your IC. You can take the next combination also. You can take the next gate. I can remove this input and I can give it to the next combination of inputs. I can give it to the next pins. I can give it here. And this will be your next AND gate that is present inside the IC. Turn it on, go with the same combinations. 0, 0, it is 0, 0, 1, it is 0, 1, 0, it is 0, 1, 1, it is 1. So this is how you need to check the connections, or you will be testing the truth table of the AND gate here. Okay, moving on further. We will take the IC 7432. We'll take the IC 7432. I'll go on with the same connections. When you are removing the IC, please make sure that you unlock it, and later you remove it. Without unlocking, it is not possible for you to remove it. So right now what I'm doing is I'm placing the IC number 7432. As I said, there is a notch here. So based on the notch, I'll be placing it here and I'll be locking it. Once you lock it, you cannot remove it. It is not removable. So this is your input A. If you want, I'll go with the same wires here. So this is your input A. Input A is connected to this pin as per this particular circuit diagram. As per this circuit diagram, this is one input. This is my second input. Second input is connected to my pin number 2, and later this is your output. Pin number 3 is your output. Output will be connected here. Again, turn it on. As per the truth table, 0, 0, it is 0. 0, 1, it should be 1. 0, 1, it is 1. So it is showing 1 here. Next it is 1, 0. For 1, 0, again it is showing 1. Later combination it is 1, 1. For 1, 1 also it is showing 1. So you can use any AND gates, any OR gates that is present inside the IC. Numbering of the ICs or numbering of the gates inside the ICs, we will check when we actually rig up the circuit with respect to your half adder, full adder or subtractor or something of that kind. I'll turn it off. I'll check with respect to the IC, or I will confirm the truth table of the NOT gate. So the IC what I'm holding in my hand, this is your IC 7404. The numbers can be noted down. So I will take this IC and I'll place it. I'll place it on the IC beds and I will lock it. I'll remove all these inputs for time being. See, when removing the connections, please make sure that you will be holding this holder and you'll be plucking the pins out. Don't try to pull out using the wires. So try to hold it here and you will be removing it like this. This is how it has to be removed. And you need to be carefully removing it. So this is how you are going to remove the things. So with respect to your NOT gate, same pins are power supply and same pins are your ground pins. Pin number 7 is ground and pin number 14 is your power supply pin. Let the things be remain as such. Pin number 1 will be your input. As you can check out here, this has got only one input. So this will be 1. Input A will be given to pin number 1 and pin number 2 will be your output. Pin number 2 will be your output. So this will be your output which is connected here. So turn it on. Once you turn it on, for 0, your input is 1. If I make this 1, your output should become 0. This is all about the NOT gate. Numbering of the pins and all these things we'll check up later, probably in the upcoming videos. So this is regarding the basics of the IC trainer kit, patch cords, ICs, how to place the ICs, how to verify the truth table of the basic gates. That is all. It is being done for time being. When it comes to the part of the experiment, we will check regarding with regard to the full subtractor, half adder, full adder, and half subtractor.